horror. A terrifying yet beautiful piece of art. But let's be honest, what horror movies would I actually survive? How about none? Psych! The first one we are starting off with is Friday the 13th. Honestly, if I was getting chased by Jason Voorhees, I would be screaming. All jokes aside though, Jason Voorhees might be a chill guy. Think about it. Every time somebody gets brutally murdered, they're doing something wrong. Or just straight up illegal. But if I get chased into the woods by Jason Voorhees, I am straight up cooked. But I can run pretty fast depending on what type of shoe I wear. If I was wearing good shoes and he was chasing me for dear life, I would be running so fast. Kinda off subject, so let's get back to it, chat. Would I actually survive Friday the 13th? We'll say that I'm in Tommy Jarvis's position, but I have my skill. First things first, I would not dig up Jason. That sounds like a good way to anger him and then have him come back to life and eat me. But if for some reason I decide to revive him, I might be a little dead on this one. You know why I say that? Because I can't swim. Also, I have no idea how to row a boat. Meaning I couldn't set up that boulder and chain trap for Jason. Also, I don't go camping. Like ever. Like ever. Also, since I don't go camping, that means I don't have any survival Obviously, skills. I know how to kick and punch, but that doesn't mean I could survive an entire undead human being. I might be able to survive some zombies, but definitely not a 77-year-old man. Sadly, I don't think I'd be able to survive it. A Quiet Place, day one. We actually got to see this movie in the theater. Also meaning that little me was absolutely terrified. But first things first, I'd make the best out of everything. Know how I would do that? First, I'd buy a Tesla. Then I'd drive to China and go inside Logitech's factory. Then I would steal their quietest keyboard. Then I would go to Micro Center and buy myself a PC. And by buy, I mean steal. I mean, all of their employees are already dead. What's the harm? After I grab the PC, monitor, and all the stuff I need to make my computer, I'd go to Washington Redmond. Know why? Because then I'd go to Microsoft's anechoic chamber. Then I would just play Roblox Ragdoll Engine for the rest of my life. You gotta admit, that's pretty genius. Meaning, yes, I would survive A Quiet Place. Smile 2. Honestly, there is no way to actually defeat the smile monster. There is only ways to pass it on. First way you could pass it on is by killing yourself in front of somebody. And nobody wants that. The second way you could pass it on is by killing somebody in front of another person. So here's how I would survive smile. So say that I'm just walking around and I see, I don't know, a guy jump off a bridge or something. And that guy also seems to be cursed by the smile monster. Now, anybody that saw his death now has the smile curse. And I was one of the people who saw his death. So how would I get rid of it, you might ask? Well, here's how. First, I would tell my friends about the situation I'm in. Then I would go to the gun store. Then I would go to the jail. Then I'd walk in the jail and say, tell me every prisoner's name and why they're in here. Then once the guard tells me why, I would find the prisoner who did the worst thing and then kill them in front of their cellmate. Now the cellmate who witnessed it is traumatized. Meaning now, I don't have the curse. But I would probably end up in jail. If luck was on my side, I might be able to get out of jail. Because I could be found not guilty by the reason of insanity. In China, the system is strict, but they do have a mental illness defense. As long as you're found to be suffering from a severe mental disorder, totally unaware of what you're doing, or unable to control your behavior. Technically, I'm all of those things since I had the smile curse. But if they couldn't figure out that I had a mental illness, then I would be absolutely cooked. But then if I somehow dodged jail, I would most likely probably still end up in a psych ward for life. But I'd have a chance to be released if the doctors decided that I'm not cuckoo. But the court also has to approve my release. So the best case scenario that's still rare is probably me getting 20 years in here. More realistically, I'd probably be in the psych ward for the rest of my life. But if I was in here for longer than 20 years, I would probably just break out and turn full ERLC mode, except in real life. Well, in that case, that's it for everything today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this awesome video. Make sure to like and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.